Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me. It is Patty from PS Paper Crafts, and every month I collaborate with other demonstrators. So there's 12 of us on the group, and we pick a suite each month, or the in colors, or whatever we decide, and we all make a project based on what we choose. So this month, the month of April, we're using the Artfully Composed Suite, and we are called the Simple Suite Stampers, and we create this tutorial bundle. If you order from my online store, you can get this for free. I'll send you a link to the document. There's 12 projects, and each project has a picture, measurements, and instructions. So they're really great, and the people are very talented. So this month we're going to make my card, which, so this is the cover sheet, and then we have the what's in the collection, the colors we're using, and then our team. This is me, and then we're making my project and my friend Melissa Kerman's project. So you'll notice this is not the Artfully Composed Suite. So let me just tell you how that works. In the mini catalog, we have the suite. It's on page 32. And if you flip, we are allowed to pick anything between suites. So all of these are between the suites. So she picked the Seize the Day, and then we keep going till the next suite, which is New Horizons. So we're allowed to pick anything in between suites. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So we are going to make my card first, and this is the card. And we're going, I cut out a lot of the paper already. We're using the, what is it called? The Artfully Composed Designer Series paper. And it has all these pretty tropical designs on it. One of the ladies did it with palm trees. So it's really pretty. And then the other side is kind of plain. So I use the plain sides for my cutouts. And I already did the cutting out for you. Oops. I have lots of pieces cut out. I was playing. Okay, so let's get started. We're using a thick basic white card base, and it's a top folding card. And then I cut the designer series paper, and this is the other side, which I love as well. But I wanted something just very kind of plain. Now before I put this down, I want to use some of this frayed white ribbon. And I want to hide that behind this layer. So before we put the layer down, this is very thick. I really love this ribbon. I've used it by cutting it in half this way because it is a big, thick, bulky ribbon. I've colored it, and it looks more like a burlap kind of look. So we're going to put this down here. Before we put it down, let's do our, I'm going to call this embossing. It's actually a die, but it embosses. So let's get that going so that we can figure out placement. So I have my white piece, and let me get the dies that go with it. Just looking for them. So this is the stamp set. I should have got over that before. Artfully layered, and it has coordinating dies. So let me take the die out that we want to use. Now there's two of them. There's kind of a bigger one, and then I use the smaller one. So let's take this out. And I'm going to get my die cutting machine. And now, although these dies are small, my layer is big, so we have to use the big machine. And I just want this to be, it's kind of just a design in it. I just want it to be right up in this kind of corner. And we'll just put this through and run it through. And I just thought it gave it a kind of a nice look. So again, it doesn't cut anything out. It just gives you this design. Something a little different, a little interesting on the card. Okay, so let's, before we put this down, let's kind of put these pieces together, and then we'll decide where we want to put this. Okay, so the first thing I did was I cut out from the designer series paper. This is the same one, and then this is this Calypso Coral look. And we want to just kind of lay these out, see where we want them. We need to do our stamping on our label, so let's get some Calypso Coral out. So I have my stamp mounted, and it says sending all the hugs. And I think this is a great card. This is a great masculine card, and actually this whole set is great for masculine cards. So we just want to stamp this right here in the middle. And I cut this out using the Stitched So Sweetly dies. Now those dies are on the retiring list, and they are some of my favorite dies. I use these constantly, so I'm very sad to see them go, but there's some new good shape dies as well. So I cut that out, and let's just see where we want to place these. So I want to put these down. Let's close this up real quick. I don't want to get ink on me. I'm going to put these down with some liquid glue, and then we'll lay everything out. So you can, if you wanted to, instead of gluing this down, you could back the cardstock or the designer series paper with some adhesive sheets so that it's easy to lay down. But these aren't too bad. It's a little busy, isn't it? My glue isn't working. There it is. Now it's going to come out as a glop. I think it was stuck for a second. So we're just going to put this all down. I'm going to kind of pick that up and spread it around. Okay, so now let's put this piece down. Okay, and let's do the same thing with this piece. And I love this little pop of orange. All right, so let's put this one kind of angling this way. And you can put any sentiment on this birthday, if you wanted to send it to a guy for a birthday card. And let's see, so we want this about here. So we want to put this on. I made this such a while ago. That's what happens to me. And we want this to go around like this. Okay, so let's put our sentiment down over this. We'll put some glue on this just to hold it down in the front. And you could put on whatever you want, whatever kind of adhesive you want. We'll put this down here. Oops. Then we'll put this down. Probably doing it in a weird order, but I want to make sure it's on the right place. You could probably just eyeball it. Okay. Then we want to wrap these behind and secure it with some Scotch tape. I love that print. Isn't that pretty? Very tropical. So I like to use Scotch tape and just hold it down like that. And now we're good to put this whole thing down. And then we can pop this up. So I'm going to use the liquid glue as well. So this covers the whole card front. But again, the reason I wanted this layer was so I could put the ribbon behind it without having it wrap around the card front. So you can really use any card base, any color card base you wanted to. I chose the thick basic white. Okay. So it's coming together. And now we want to put our dimensionals on. And on this, I really want to put the dimensionals on the top and the bottom. And that will be enough. Actually, let me put 2 on. Because I don't want to go over the ribbon. It will make it very bulky. I should have spread these out more, but we're good. So this way we have room for the ribbon. Okay. Let's put this down right here. Sending all the hugs. And now I want to use some of the in color jewels. These are retiring. The in colors are not, but the jewels are, and that's what happens a lot. So I'm going to use the Evening Evergreen. That's the color of this dark color here. And we want to just put one up, and let me do it this way. I've learned I like this way better. And then we'll put a big one and a little one right down here. Okay, so now let's do the inside of the card. So the inside is just a white layer, and I cut this out. This is actually a die cut. I did it in a different color. It's the same paper pack, but I thought I would try a different color. So let me get an inside layer, and we'll just put this down here, and then we'll stamp the top. So let's stamp the top first. I did that in Calypso Coral. This way, if we make a mistake, we could always flip it. So we'll just ink this, and I love these leaves. I think they're so pretty. They all almost look like little hearts. Okay, and this light shading is actually part of the stamp. So it's not like it didn't ink up enough. It's just the way the stamp works. And let's do a little bit more gluing here. But isn't this even pretty? I love to see the other side. Okay, so we'll just turn this over and put it right in here. Very pretty. So let's put this away, and then we can get our seal, stamp and seal, and just put this on the inside layer. And that's the first card. They're very simple. And I can't wait to do Melissa's card next. That's going to be fun. So here we go. Sending all the hugs. Okay, let's clear up this and get our next card going. So I cleared everything off, and we're going to use the Seize the Day from Melissa. And isn't that so cute? I love it. So let's put that aside and get our pieces out. Now I cut everything down. We've got some Just Jade, which is a retiring in color, and Mint Macaron. And I have the squares, and this is Just Jade, Old Olive, and Pale Papaya. So those are the colors, and we're just going to stamp the images. I think they're so cute, and layer them up. So let me get a piece of scrap paper. We'll be doing some stamping off, so we want to just have some scrap paper for the squares. So let me just get that out of the way. And first, let's do our greenery down here, and you'll see it come together, and it'll be a surprise at the end. So I'm going to use Just Jade and stamp on the Mint Macaron. We're just going to stamp this across on the bottom. Some of it will be hidden. I think she stamped it off. And we'll get one up here. Oh, let's do it down here. I just want to stamp it off again. There we go. Okay, so let's set that aside. I love this Just Jade, and I'm sorry that it's not going to be here anymore. So let's put this aside, and we're going to start with the sentiment. So the sentiment that we're using is wishing you oceans of happiness. So let's just ink that up, and we're going to put it right in the center of one of these squares. So I want to make sure I'm doing it right, following her picture. And then we're going to take the Just Jade and this cute little fish, and we're going to stamp him up here. And then without re-inking, we're going to stamp him down here. You know what? It went off the card. Let's flip this and do it again. So it picked up, because it didn't go all the way on the cardstock, it picked up, it didn't ink as well, so it picked it up down here. So let's try this again. Maybe I need to get more in the center. Let's try it again. Okay. And now I just want to ink or stamp that off. So that is something that happens if you go off the page. See, so there's still ink up here. So I'm going to just stamp it to clean it off a little bit. And then I'm going to stamp it off because I want a lighter one down here. And then we want to do the bubbles, which I think are really fun. So we have some bubbles here, and she has bubbles here, and then right here. Okay, so this one is done. We'll put this aside and we'll close this up. We're using lots of fun colors, and then we're doing the octopus in pale papaya. So let's get the octopus out. I love this stamp set. I've made some cards with it, and it really is cool. So we're going to stamp him down here, and then we're just going to have like his buddies right above him. Okay, so that is done. And then we want some pear pizzazz. And we're doing the last one, and we're doing the jellyfish. Don't like the jellyfish, but that's what happens when you go to the beach. So we're doing 1, 2, and then we're going to do one off here and just a little bit up there. Okay, so it just gives you a variety of looks. Pretty cool. Now hers are a little bit, I'll just show you again. I don't want to have it out here and just distracting, but those are what she did. Very cool. So now we want to line everything back up on its coordinating piece of cardstock. So we'll just glue these down. And we're going to put them down flat except for one, the one with the sentiment. We're going to pop that up. Okay, so here's one. And the second one. So I love this group that we do these projects with. I'm always amazed, you know, at what people do differently. This is not lined up right. What happened? I think it shifted after I did it. Let's try to fix it. This is an old Creative Memories tool. I don't know. It's one of my favorite tools. It's to lift up stickers or layers. So let's try to do this. I feel like I'm always doing surgery on my cards here. There we go. And I think I might turn this over. I don't know what happened because it was straight and then it shifted. I must have picked it up with my finger or something by accident. You probably saw me do it while you're watching. A lot of times people see me do things and I don't see it till it's too late. Okay, so we fixed that. Otherwise I would have just done it again. And now let's get this last one, and this is on Just Jade. Isn't that cute? Just swimming by. And we'll put this on like this. I wouldn't have a video if it didn't have a mistake. I feel like I always have something go wrong, but I always fix it, and that's what's great about it. So let's put our pieces down on here. I just want to kind of lay them out So we're going to put this down here and this up here. And Melissa's very artsy and creative, so I love her work. And then this over here. Let's see. That looks good. Okay, so let's put these down. This one's going to go down with dimensionals, but let's put this one down with our glue. Hide the back. Melissa and I went, when we were out at one of the Stampin' Up! Conventions, we went early and we went out and did a lot of sightseeing to some of the parks out in Utah. It was really, really fun. And I had never, well, I guess I met her once at another convention, but I didn't really know her well. And we got along really well. And we got there early. We visited the factory in Kanab where they actually make the stamps, the photopolymer, the rubber. They had all their cardstock there. It was really cool. It was a lot of fun. We had a great time there. So I got to know her. That's one thing about Stampin' Up! You get to know people and make new friends. It's fun. So I'm thinking I want to put, I don't know that I want to put them on those layers. I'm going to put one, I'm going to try to be strategic about where I put these. So let's put one here. I don't know if she did this. Probably not, because she gets things just working right. I kind of want to put one right around here. Let's see. And you don't need that many of them. So let's see if this will work. Just so that it lays nice. It's above the other two, but it's not bulky where it's sitting. Okay, I think that worked out well. And then we just put this on the card front, and then we should do an inside. I don't know what her inside looks like because we only have the outside when we make our cards. But I like to make sure we've got the inside going. And then she did put some of these waves of the ocean gems on. And these are really beautiful. And we'll do a large one, and I'm trying to figure out, I may do a green. Maybe I'll do this kind of aqua one. We'll do it here. I'm looking at what she did. And then a small one. And then another small one right up here, just to go along with the bubbles. Isn't that pretty? I love this card. And now let's do an inside layer. So what should we do on the inside? We have maybe the greenery, the seaweed. I like him and I like him now. Okay, let's see. We've got the green card base. So I think I will do the greenery and then do some of the fish. So I have that out. Where do I have it? And I'm going to do just jade with this. Okay, and then I'm going to have just the fish. And let's do some bubbles. All right, that looks good, doesn't it? I'm just winging it. So let's put this down, and I like to use my Stampin' Seal for the inside layer. And we have 2 cards done, and I think they're both pretty and fun. I think I'll give this to my grandson. Maybe I should have made the fish orange so that they could be like goldfish. So these are the 2 cards, and Again, this is our monthly tutorial. You can get this if you order online from my store for free, or you can purchase it from my blog, and that's pspapercrafts.com. Thanks so much, and you have a good day.